Karena terlalu mengharap, kasihnya tak diperlukan, berjuta rangka
Hello. Today, me and my teammate who would like to present about the National Museum of Malaysia. Bye. Guys, wait.
denganmu.
Today, I will talk about Museum Negara. Museum Negara is the National Museum of Malaysia. It is located in Kuala Lumpur and managed by Department of Museum Malaysia. This museum in Malaysia is the Perak Museum. Later, the Selangor Museum and Sarawak Museum was built. However, the Selangor Museum was badly damaged because of the World War II. After Malaysia became independent, the Museum Negara was built on the same site and officially opened on 31 August 1963.
Now, let's move on to corporate operation. The objective of the National Museum of Malaysia is to carry out museum-related activities such as researching, collection, recordings, and publishing. Mission and vision. The mission is to engage in the collection, conservation, and provision in the national history, culture, and natural history. The vision is to become a leader of the museum professionalism institution in the global standard in the country.
What is target audience, you may ask? Target audience divided by 3. So the first one is general public. You may ask, what's in the general public? So first of all, we have children, we have old folks, and also people with disability. Oh, we don't forget the trees. So the next one is student. So basically, lot of students do a research for their assignment, and to make things more fun, the National Museum of Malaysia actually make a program for students under the age of 12, where they make a program called Career at Museum. So basically, it's an interactive, fun activity where students can have fun while learning a new thing. The third one is researcher. You may ask, what do researchers do actually in the museum? So basically, they do a lot of research using journal and artifact that they had to, especially as the staff, to see the annual artifact that they are not showing to anyone else.
Next, I will be continuing with challenge that the National Museum of Malaysia face, such as limited display space, conservation issue due to climate, and restriction heritage building. In addition, limited financial and human resources make it difficult to upgrade facilities and engage modern visitors. Thank you.
Did you guys know there is a lot of tasks that are provided in Museum Negara department? So one of it is acquisition. What is acquisition? Acquisition is a task where they have to find any item or any artifact that they want to put in the Museum Negara. Next, there is a cataloging. What is cataloging? Cataloging is a process where when the artifact already arrived at the museum and been accepted, they will put all the information for the artifact. For example, the names, the details, and the dimensions. Last one is storage management. Storage management is a service where they will put the artifact into a box and put the acid, because they want to take care of the artifact and want it to make sure it can stay longer. And also sometimes they will make sure the artifact follow the climate control, so the artifact won't be damaged by anything that can harm the artifact.
Department and services. The National Museum of Malaysia is managed through several departments that are responsible for expedition, research, and collection. In particular, the research unit studies Malaysia's history and culture, and later transform this research into museum expedition. At the same time, the conservation unit focuses on protecting and repairing artifacts to ensure they can be preserved for a longer period. Meanwhile, the Management and Public Relations Unit is responsible for administration, staff management, finance, and communication with the public. In terms of staffing, the museum is operated by trained professionals under the civil service. Among them, curators are responsible for managing collection, conducting research, and developing exhibition. In addition, conservators work to preserve and restore artifacts using appropriate conservation techniques.
There are a lot of types of collection that they are being displayed. Some of it is archaeological artifact. Archaeological artifacts is from the excavation sites across the country. It shows a clear evidence of early human activity. These items help explain how people live, work, and survive from the past time. Some of the examples are the alat rapihan, stone tools, and the pottery items that used for cooking, and also the famous archaeological of the Perak Man skeleton. Second, we have a historical artifact. Historical artifact is an object that reflects the daily life, culture, and tradition of Malaysia past. Through this item, we can learn about how communities live, the tools they use, their belief, and how society was structured during different periods of time. The example items are the stone of Buddha Gupta that show the journey from India. Last, we have the documentary and archival materials. As we know, Museum Negara display a lot of documentary and archival materials that records important events and develop the country history. This collection includes the old photograph and captures significant historical moments and handwritten letters from the past. For example, during the first election in Tanah Melayu, the papers that are used for the election are being displayed in the museum. And also, the first national flag are also being displayed at the Museum Negara.
The museum works as a specialized information center that collect, organize, and share national heritage. Its main goal is to provide information that is easy to understand for visitors. The most important way the museum delivers information is through exhibition and display. The layout is designed to be user-friendly and accessible for everyone, including children, elderly people, and people with disability. For example, the museum provides wheelchairs for visitors who need them. Besides that, the museum also offers educational programs where visitors can see real artifacts, making learning more interesting than just reading books. Lastly, the museum provides user assistance service such as helping visitors and researchers find information using catalog and index.
Now, it's time for facilities and infrastructures. The National Museum of Malaysia offers various facilities including a cafeteria and refreshment areas, since no food or drink allowed inside the museum. Other than that, this museum also provides public restroom, an ATM, a prayer room for Muslims, and wheelchairs for the disabled, elderly, or any people who need it. Meanwhile, the infrastructure of the National Museum in Malaysia includes 4 main galleries. First, Gallery A, which is early history that displays a journey of humankind. Next, Gallery B, that known as Malay Kingdoms. It tells about the development of Malay civilization in the Malay Kingdom. The third gallery is Gallery C, known as colonial era that took place in Tanah Melayu, Sabah, and Sarawak. Last but not least, the last galleries of this museum is the Gallery D, which tells about Malaysia today. It tells about how nationalist movement took our independence in 1957 and what our country has achieved until today. Bye! And last but not least, the last gallery of this museum is the Gallery D, which is tell about Malaysia today. It's tell about how nationalist movement took our independence in 1957 and what our country has achieved until today.
To overcome the challenges faced by the National Museum of Malaysia, several strategies can be applied. Limited display space can be solved through digital exhibitions, allowing more artifacts to be displayed. As a heritage building, the museum must also ensure proper conservation by controlling temperature, humidity, and lighting. Therefore, staff training and collaboration with experts are important to maintain and preserve the collections.
So, the conclusion is the National Museum of Malaysia plays an important role in preserving and showcasing nation history and culture. Overall, through its department and professional workforce, the National Museum of Malaysia continue to serve as a key institution for public education and heritage preservation.